everyone. It's Trish Murray, and this is the New Age Tour Guide podcast. I use this language of the New Age, or the Age of Aquarius, as a shorthand, as a form of shorthand, to be able to describe the profound changes that are happening on our planet right now. Whether you go back to the year 2000 and the real uptick of the internet, to the game-changing shifts that emerged post-2020, there are a number of things that have sped up what I can only describe as a values shift. The values of the individuals, of the collective, are changing as we watch this new age unfold. Now, I've been talking a little bit about the value shift on Instagram, and I will bring a series of short, focused conversations around that here in the near future. But I wanted to re-release this particular podcast from my previous one because there's just so many ideas that I talk about in this podcast that frame or support or provide a bit of a foundation for the New Age Tour Guide. In this segment, I talk a little bit about how we got here. I talk about the age of Pisces, and I talk about the age of Aries. I talk about the hangover that we're in from the age of Aries and how, the age of Pisces got a little bit derailed. We didn't actually complete the mission of the age of Pisces over the last 2,000 years. Humanity, not us individually, but humanity, the collective. And how, there's an opportunity. We're being given an opportunity to see what's still hanging on from the age of Aries that needs to be transformed. What patterns are still trying to derail this integration of the ego and the soul, which was the primary objective of the age of Pisces? What patterns are still trying to keep those things separate? So this is a kind of a 50,000 foot level conversation. It's meant to provide some context both for what you're going to experience here and how I talk and how I kind of even got to this idea of the New Age Tour Guide podcast. But without any further ado, let me formally welcome you, possibly again if you've been with me for a while, to the Age of Aquarius. All right, so we've looked at the age of Pisces. I've shared with you what I think about the age of Aries, the hangover that we're still struggling to recover from. Let's talk about the age of Aquarius. I am reading from one of my other sources directly when I say this. The higher purpose of the age of Pisces, remember, was understanding that separation is just an illusion. As long as the ego is separate from the soul, we won't have freedom, and we won't make the soul level progress that we are here to make, which, by the way, is Aquarius's highest manifestation: soul growth, soul development, and soul purpose. Instead, we will have division. Sound familiar? And we will continue to attempt to use machines, weapons, robots, or the internet to justify one side of the story. Sound familiar? In my mind, we stay trapped in this either-or debate, the ego or the soul, the ego or the soul, and we will never reach the true reality that we live in a both-and universe. A both-and universe. However, according to all of my resources, sooner or later, this cosmic battle starts to come to an end, and we reconcile the yin and the yang, the light and the shadow. And we will eventually find something akin to a new renaissance. Okay, so just for fun, I want you to take a moment and scroll through the titles of my podcasts since I started in 2019. And I want to really connect the dots for you on this one because it's really important. I got this idea in 2016, remember? And I ignored it, or did I? If you look back through all of my podcasts and just even look at the titles or the themes, or even if you've listened to a lot of them, with me or with guests, I didn't ignore it at all. I didn't ignore it at all. My conscious mind or my ego mind tried to ignore it, trust me. But my soul made sure that I continued to work it through. My soul made sure that I continued to work it through. And that was happening at a really deep level until I reached a place of internal alignment and the soul growth that was necessary for me to be able to bring my ego along and start really leaning into this conversation. But my soul knew. My soul knew. If you tuned in a week or so ago, you heard me say, know thyself and know thy soul's knowing. My soul knew, and I can tell you without any shadow of a doubt, so does yours. So does yours. So here are a couple of really interesting things to know about the Age of Aquarius. In the sense of being able to look around your macro world and possibly filter those events, the scenarios, through this lens and test for yourself whether or not this idea of the Age of Aquarius really lines up for you. So I can already see these things playing out in the macro world, and I'm going to share what I'm seeing. And sometimes I see through the mirror. I see through the mirror, or, if you will, the negative projection of this. So here's number one. Number one thing that I think is really interesting about the Age of Aquarius. We are going to learn that each individual is important. We might intellectually agree with this right now, but I don't think that we really embody it right now. But we will. So we are going to learn that each individual is important, relevant, and significant. So here's what I see. What I see is a ridiculous attempt, to homogenize the human experience. I see unbelievable, clown acts of people trying to treat everybody as the same thing, right? Trying to homogenize the human experience and treat everyone as the same. Think of some of the things that you're hearing on the, quote, news, right? That says humans aren't important, they aren't relevant, they aren't significant, and they aren't unique. If you want to take this further, go back to podcast that I did. It's called Are You an Original? And I'm just saying this again because my soul knew. My soul knew and has been working this out since I got that first idea. We are all unique and original, and that is something to be celebrated. It's not something to be homogenized. Okay, number two, we are going to be invited, possibly repeatedly, to own our unique original contribution to the development of society and to the benefit of all beings. Here's what I see. What I see is not a climate crisis, but a profound disconnection between us and our world. Between us and our world. Remember, separation is an illusion. We are a part of this world. We're a part of nature, just as the animals are a part of nature, just as the air, the earth, the water, our food, our soil. It's all connected, right? We're hearing all this conversation around climate crisis. It's not climate crisis. The climate is always changing. Guys, the climate's always changing. What's happening is that we have been profoundly disconnected from our role and our place in the world, in nature. And I think in some respects that's created a lot of disrespect for nature and what the earth has been giving us, what the air has been giving us, what our food and water, all of that. Number three, we are going to learn a whole new way of relating to things like our food supply, like the land, agriculture. What is health? What is medicine? Who we buy from, who we sell to, and who we trade with. We are going to learn an entire new way of relating to
the world that we are a part of. Here's what I see. Well, what I see is I'm already seeing disruptions to the food supply. There have been double-digit numbers of food production facilities in the United States that have been destroyed by some crazy causes. Now, is that because they've not been beneficial to all beings? Interesting thought. We are coming to grips with the role that pharmaceutical companies have played in not having our best interests at heart. Number 4, Aquarius is governed by everyone's favorite planet, Uranus. That's how it's pronounced, Uranus. But it's everyone's favorite planet. Uranus promises disruption. Uranus is all about change and transition and disrupting things and challenging the status quo to some degree. But it's not about change for change's sake. It's not about simply changing for change's sake. It's about change that brings about the betterment and improvement of systems, institutions, processes, and people. Now, what this means is that we should expect that which hasn't been serving humanity, that which has not been truly serving the residents of this planet, be them human, animal, plant, whatever, are going to go through a refining process. Starting with this top-down hierarchical culture, especially in the West, and the extreme political doctrines. All of this is going to get tested, and it's going to get purified through something that metalworkers might call the refining fire. Number 5, Aquarius is also a symbol for electricity. And I get super excited about this one because it ties right into the quantum conversation that you're going to hear come to light this year coming. There are multiple opinions and perspectives that suggest that we are going to see entirely different approaches to power. I mean, like electrical power, the power grid, fuel resources. Spoiler alert, think Nikola Tesla. In so many ways, you could say that the Age of Aquarius will bring with it a completely different operating system for the planet and for the users of that system. That's us, by the way. It is, in my humble opinion, likely going to be characterized by things that we simply have not seen before. I mean, unless you were here 26,000 years ago. And all of this is going to probably feel like, or a little, or a lot, trippy. Like you're having a hard time getting your head around it. Or maybe not. So let's just agree that if it feels new, if it feels unfamiliar, if it feels awkward and unbelievable, it probably is. Because we have no frame of reference. And because we're at the very beginning, where things often feel unfamiliar and awkward and unbelievable. We have no frame of reference for the vision that the Age of Aquarius is casting before us. Now, I've spent 3 to 5 years pointing out what might be considered the controlled revolution of our world. I need to step more fully into the vision that started to emerge in 2016 for me. I need to let go of trying to get people to see what I have been seeing, and I need to step more fully into sharing what I believe the vision means. If you're seeing it and you want to join me, that is great, because I will love having you on this journey. If you're not seeing it, if you're not seeing what I've been seeing, and you think I am completely off my rocker, that's okay too. That's okay too. I know what I know. I know what I know, and I know what my soul knows, and I know what I've learned. And I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. I'm here to clarify the vision as it relates to my corner of the world, and in doing so, possibly for those who are connecting with their own creator souls. Here's another really important thing for all of us to begin to embrace. Our journey is sacred. Our experiences, our ups and downs, our joys, our heartbreaks, our wins, our losses are sacred. They're not for everyone, because not everyone will value them. I'm sharing pieces here through this podcast, likely more of the purpose and the practicality as it relates to my field. And I want you to value your journey too. I want you to value your journey, the ups and downs, the time, the energy, and the money that you have invested in learning and unlearning and then relearning. And then I want you to share some of it. And I want you to save some of it. And I want to really invite you to consider spending more time breaking it down for the people who truly value you. Well, thanks for joining me for this short 2-part conversation designed to set a baseline for what this, quote, new age is bringing forward. The changes and the disruption and the challenges that we are all navigating as the divine brings us forward into a new way of being on the planet. If you're curious about the unique role and purpose you are here to play in this evolution, starting to decode the insights woven into your birth data using human design, numerology, or the Success Codex is a great place to start. You'll find the link below that leads you to your Soul Driver's Guide. This concise, comprehensive package draws in 4 powerful drivers from your soul style to shine a light on what moves you at a soul level. You'll get your core driver from numerology and your purpose driver and energy driver through human design. Plus, we'll focus on your flow driver, which unpacks the insights from your moon about what you need to experience to stay in a state of flow and feel a deep sense of soul-level satisfaction in life using your Success Codex. These 4 drivers provide actionable insights that help you amplify what you're already doing by confirming that you're aiming in the right direction and help you refine your approach. Or they can assist you in course correcting and realigning yourself with what will enable you to achieve more of the life that you envision. Your Soul Driver's Guide includes a 15-minute highlight reel from me where I guide you through each of the personal insights and offer a few thoughts about how this could be showing up in your corner of the world. Until next time, I'm Trish Murray, casting a vision for this, quote, new age, for individuals who are looking for a more soulful way of navigating a rapidly changing social, economic, political, and spiritual landscape, one podcast at a time.